when you die, does your legacy die with you? Meaning that, hypothetically speaking, were I to contract a terrible, terrible disease where I would only be around for the next couple of years, if I were only able to use that time for my work and I dedicated it to my work to make life better for the people around me and to put something out into the world that did not exist before, would this all be gone simply because I died? And would it make the work that I did up to that point completely worthless? I don't run my business based on a basic, simple idea of making as much money as I can and leaving. I would like to think that at the end of the day that what I did actually has an effect on other people, that the work that I do actually helps other people to sustain their businesses and helps other people to make money, and that I've put a couple of thoughts out there in the world that other people might not have had. Today I'd like to discuss that with somebody named Jim Teal. Jim Teal ran a company called Teal Audio in Lexington, Kentucky that made some of the best loudspeakers in the world. And he didn't make the best loudspeakers in the world by putting out the same old tried crap that everybody else did. Rather, he used his brain, which is a concept that I'm frequently telling people to do on this channel. He used his brain to come up with a better way to develop loudspeakers. He had an idea on how the baffle should be. He had an idea on how the driver should be designed so that even at 1 inch of excursion you had less than 3% distortion. He had an idea on how to design the crossover and how to place the driver so that time and phase response would be perfect when it hit your ear, not just frequency response. And all of his ideas were culminated in the 33 years that he spent at his company making amazing loudspeakers that surpassed virtually everything you could hear from every other manufacturer. Whether or not you agree that they make the best stuff, and whether or not it is your preference, if you are somebody who is into hi-fi audio, as I am, you will have to admit that Teal Audio made something above what you would find if you went to Best Buy or Circuit City or listened to some Bose wave radio crap in a listening room, and it was just a better quality of audio. As some of you may notice or not notice in these videos, at work I have a set of TLCS 3.6 speakers right next to me. At home I have a set of Vandersteen Model 3A signatures. I've always enjoyed music, and I've always enjoyed high quality reproduction of music. It's one of my hobbies that I don't often talk about, but it's a hobby that's very important to me. I like high-end audio. And unfortunately, about 6 years ago, Jim Teal passed away of cancer. Now, this is a company that, believe it or not, I actually wanted to work for. Back before I started working doing laptop motherboard repair, before I started working repairing broadcast audio consoles for recording studios, before I did any of this, my dream, silly as it may sound, was actually to be a loudspeaker engineer, was to be somebody who helped people design loudspeakers that was better than what was out there. Because there's so much crap out there that costs $2,000, $4,000, $10,000, $50,000, and it's based on the same old crap, and you listen to it and it sounds like a speaker, but it just sounds like everything else. And when you listen to the products that Jim Teal or Richard Vandersteen put out, they are trying to put out better products that beat the status quo by using intelligent engineering, by trying to figure out ways to solve problems. And this is the kind of thing that I found cool. The same thing that I like about what I do right now, where I'm trying to solve problems that other people have given up on to a high standard of quality. They are trying to do the same things in their field, and I admire them for it. Now, one of the things that really, really made me sad after his death was to find that the company was actually sold away to other people. What further made me sad about figuring out that the company was sold away to other people is they are actually not designing or producing the loudspeakers that Jim Teal himself had designed over all these years. To make matters worse, they are actually producing loudspeakers that have none of the traits that his did. They are producing loudspeakers under his name that are the same kind of ordinary crap that you find if you go to Best Buy. They're not available for purchase just yet, but if you went to CES, you would have been able to see them in a booth. In fact, they're actually adamant and outspoken about the fact that their designs are different from Jim Teal's and that they have moved on into this new direction. And it's funny how their new direction appears to be the same old crap that we've been seeing in the loudspeaker world for the past 30, 40, or 50 years. They don't include the sloped baffle that Jim Teal had. They don't include the dual concentric driver design. They don't care about phase coherency. They don't care about having the rigid drivers so that when the cone is excurting, you don't get as much of that distortion that happens when the cone is moving forward and backward at the same time. You don't see any mention of short coil, long gap air-gapped design. You don't see any mention of any of the things that made Teal Audio's products great. So what you have here is somebody who has literally taken 33 years of a man's life and actually tossed it out the window in order to make a new design. And if the new design was something amazing and interesting and really solved every single problem which Jim Teal had made, I would completely understand that. But what you've done here is you've actually presented a product that looks exactly the same, that sounds exactly the same as everything else there in the market. And I think that this is a complete and utter travesty. So here's where I find this to be a real problem. Besides the fact that you've erased 33 years of a man's life and taken products that have his name on it that have absolutely nothing to do with what he would have actually designed. The real travesty here is that that was not the problem that you as a company owner needed to solve. You did not need to make speakers that sound better, because thanks to 33 years of this man's research recently passed, you actually have something that for all intents and purposes sounds better than everything else in the market. You have bought a company that has 33 years of engineering know-how on how to make something that is better, that is light years ahead of what everybody else had to offer. What you had to do, what your job was to actually get people to care. The reason that most real companies do not care about developing incredibly amazing loudspeakers is that sadly, the regular consumer does not care, nor do they notice a difference most of the time. They have to come to appreciate the difference, which means you have to listen to a Jim Teal loudspeaker or a Richard Vandersteen loudspeaker next to the rest of the crap to actually appreciate just how much better these are. You have to actually have an A/B switch and go regular speaker, Teal speaker, regular speaker, Vandersteen speaker. You have to do that to actually notice how much better they are. And it's very, very, very difficult via standard marketing to actually get across a concept of sound quality, because you actually have to listen to it to realize how much better it is. So your only job was to make people care that you already had the best sounding product. Again, every other company, they don't care about designing amazing sounding products because nobody actually cares about it. You have somebody who, because they are actually that into sound, they actually see this as a craft, not as something to do just to make money, but something to do because they love it, because they love the engineering involved, and they take pride in the end product. You have a company that actually designed the best sounding thing in the world. You don't need to spend any time on designing something else. You don't have to shit-can 33 years of research, development, and experimentation just because you have an ego and you need to do something on your own. What you need to do is let the world know that you have the best sounding product. You need to get it to a point so that my downstairs neighbor who's into music but who has no fucking clue what a Teal or a Vandersteen or a Magnepan is knows what these are and cares about it. You have to get away for all of these people, for the other 99.9% of the United States that likes music but listens to it on Bluetooth speakers, to realize why they should want your product. That is where your money should be going. That is where your time should be going. It should not go into taking a speaker that is 99% the way there and reversing it 40 years back into a speaker that is 60% of the way there just because it looks more like what you would buy at Best Buy. What you should have actually done, instead of throwing away a man's life's work, is actually figure out how to get people to like him. And if you are watching this video and you are not aware of what is going on, I will post a picture of a classic Teal loudspeaker, and I will post a picture of what they are trying to get out into the world. And if you tell me that this doesn't look like the same lifestyle design crap that you find at Best Buy and Circuit City and crappy audio demo shows all over the place, I don't know what to say. And again, when it comes to design, they did not even have the sense to copy design that is good. They bought a company that designed amazing products, and instead of deciding to market these amazing products to all of these people, to this entire user base of millions upon millions of people who would buy them if they even knew that you existed, they decided that they were going to erase 33 years of a man's life. They were going to erase 33 years of history. They were going to erase 33 years of competent, practical design from somebody who took such pride in his product that you see him standing by it while terminally ill at trade shows saying, this is what I made. This is what I did. This is my life's work. I made a phase-coherent loudspeaker with proper frequency response that is very, very sensitive, that sounds absolutely amazing. And you have to just look at the smile on this man's face, which I will post here, to realize that this is a man who takes pride in his design. It is not just about making money, it is about having an effect on the lives of the people who buy his products, and you decided to crap on that when you decided to throw away all of this design. When you decided to say, you know what, we actually are already making this, but we're not going to make it anymore so we can make these new ones. And you actually hire designers that come from companies like SVS that at the very least knew how to copy. If you can say anything about SVS as an audio company, it's that when they see a good designer like Dr. Sue of Sue Research, they know, you know what, that's a great design. I'm going to copy that great design instead of trying to come up with some crap on my own. But you don't even do that. You take a designer from a company that solely knows how to copy the designs of other companies, and you don't even have him copy the competent design and the intellectual property that you bought that somebody else spent 33 years coming up with. Does somebody's legacy die when they die? Unfortunately, in some cases, it does. And I very, very much so hope that in the small off chance that something terrible were to happen to me, and the small off chance that I were to contract a terrible disease or illness, that everything that I've put out into the world wouldn't just simply wither away and die because other people took over my company who thought they had a better idea of how to run it than I did. One of the things that makes me very, very happy and gives me a small ray of hope that when I'm actually nice to people and when I actually do put effort into doing things my way, that I'm not simply wasting my time, is when I go onto these online forums that I used to frequent that I don't frequent as much anymore, and I see people using my troubleshooting techniques to figure out problems. I see them giving out advice based on the type of advice that I would have given out. And these are people that when you read prior posts, prior to me posting, had absolutely no ability to deal with irate customers, that had absolutely no ability to troubleshoot a PCB component level fault on a motherboard. And now they're doing it using the information that I put out into their world. What this tells me is that when I help somebody, that help doesn't end simply because I helped that person and they're done. That help is now going out there to everybody else in the world, and that the ideas and that the work and the effort and the time that I put into everything that I do is not wasted. And it really, really makes me feel bad when I see somebody who has 10 times the talent that I do, that has 10 times the ability that I do, that has 10 times the accomplishments that I do, and to see that their ideas, that their research, that everything that is made, that everything that they have contributed to the world that people have loved is literally being tossed into the shitter just because new people own the company. All you had to do was take these world-class products and get people to care that they existed. And instead of doing that, instead of marketing the world-class products that you already had, you decided to delete them, to destroy them, in order to release something new that isn't even as good with the same type of marketing. Does that make any sense? I don't think it makes any sense. You tell me. This product isn't out on the market yet, so I am going to reserve my criticism of that product until I actually get to hear it. But if this product, when you put it next to the 20-year-old design, or even the 5-year-old design, sounds like crap, if this product sounds exactly the same way as everything else that I hear when I go to Best Buy or when I go to a crappy white van audio showroom, I will not be very silent about it, and I will not be very forgiving about it, and I will make sure that every single person knows not to buy this sad, sad excuse for a Teal Audio product. But sadly, it does appear that these products are most likely going to be crap. From what I read, and from what I see, and from what I hear, and just looking at this lifestyle-looking pile of crap that looks like it belongs in a Best Buy, and just from listening and reading how they're trying to take this in a new direction, and how they're literally ignoring 33 years of the design work that had already happened, it does indeed seem like they are erasing a legacy, and like they are ignoring all of this work. And what truly kills me, if you are going to ignore and erase and desecrate 33 years of the ideals that somebody built and put into their business and put into their products, why can't you at the very least have the decency to erase their name from the door, to erase their name from the website, and to to erase their name from your product that is never going to live up to what they did. If at the very least, if I were to die this year, and at the very least, if something, God forbid, were going to happen to me and I were to die, at the very least, if you're going to send motherboards to L2 Computer, if you're going to put this crap inside of a jewelry cleaner, if you are going to say that, oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you with that because we're a service center, and service centers don't educate people on how to do the jobs they're doing. If you think that you know how to do everything that I'm doing wrong, and you decide someday after I'm gone to buy my company and to twist the meaning of everything I've been trying to do. If you are going to buy this company and you're going to take customer iPhone 6s to Apple, expect them fixed for $109 and charge them $229 without telling them that they could go to Apple, if you're going to desecrate every single thing I've worked to build, have the decency to erase my name from the door. Have the decency to say, you know what? We are making a product that looks and sounds exactly like everything else while erasing 33 years of this man's research instead of using our good common sense to market what he's already done to everybody who would have bought it. If you're going to do that, at the very least, erase his name from it and put yours on there. Does a man's legacy die just because he does? Sadly, it seems that it does. And I truly hope that if something tragic were to happen to me over the next couple of years, that every single bit of goodwill, every single bit of education, every single bit of business advice, every single bit of help that I've put out there into the world isn't simply just going to disappear just because I do.